I wanted to see if everybody noticed that when Jose was presenting his project, when he opened the app, a train went back in the back. That was amazing. That's magic, man. I wish I could do that. So let me tell you a little bit of what we're doing today, right? We're designing an app called Insight, and we'll get a little bit into everything that it entails in the application. So I was hired by the Lobson Freeman Foundation and the Dress Like a Lawyer Institute to disrupt the reviewing industry by providing review writers, readers, and owners with a more meaningful experience by promoting a design thinking review process. Because the way that it is right now, they just give you one paragraph and just spill your life into your experience into it, and not good insight comes from it. And we're going to be targeting reviewers that use iPhone X. So that's my name, Lobson Burgers. I was going to include a picture, but Brito doesn't like pictures in presentation. But I'm a daredevil, so I included one. This is me and some designer friends. One of my designer friends is really private. She doesn't like to come out in pictures, and so I had to throw her in there. So this is what we're going to be covering today, right? These are all the steps that we use to develop this app and how it goes from infancy all the way to more stages of being a teenager and being a young adulthood into a working app that is desirable. And I wanted to focus here. I had to repeat my low-fit prototype a couple of times, actually 3 times, but effectively twice. And do some usability testing on it 3 times before I moved to wireframes. In this particular project, I think that was the way to approach it. So we did I sent some surveys out, 102 responses we got, and it was, I did my own research online as well, and I was right on point with the 94% of people rely on interviews to shop online, and that's staggering because that's virtually everybody, right? So we rely on reviews a lot, and I wanted to see if we can make that a better process. So one of the insights that I got from my research and some research that I did online as well is 47% out of 102 surveys leave reviews to inform other shoppers and to provide feedback to business and owners. The average star rating, the quantity, and the recency of the review is what's more important to users. You can see it on that graph over there. The length and the tone is not really that important. So people, after you start reading a review, if the tone is too negative, they move on to the next review, right? So you kind of lose them. So if you want to say too much, if you want to be too negative, you're going to lose your audience. 77% of users only consider reviews that were written less than 3 months ago. That's very important. We'll go into it a little bit later. So I have 3 personas. I beat everybody. I don't know if that's a contest, but if you can give me points for that. So those are their names: Share Fair, Don't Care, Mayor, and Onerous Jess. I don't want to get too much into this. You can read it yourself, but I want to go into what I gather out of the interviews for each one of those. I review often, but I know it's a lot of writing and thinking. I feel bad for not reviewing more often, especially when the place is great. And this, my second persona, that's actually my primary persona. I have only reviewed a couple of times in the last year, but I rely on reviews all the time. I read at least 5 reviews before making a decision on a company or product, and I don't like reading very long infomercials reviews, and I tune out when the tone is too negative. And then she wants to get all this information and capture it to better her business, right? I could relate to that, actually. I've been in management, and I know how difficult that could be. Now, one important point is that if you get somebody to review the right way, you affect everybody. So if we get the reviewer to leave a good review, you're going to affect the person that's reading the review, and you're going to affect the business owner, which is why I had 3 personas, and I think they're equally important. I didn't neglect any of them because it just takes one good paragraph, and everybody gets involved, and everybody gets affected. So this is very important. What I realized here is that nobody knows what they're doing when it comes to review. Amazon, which is one of the sites that gets the most reviews, they have some of their listing up to 30% reviews that are fake. And I just found that out, right? And there's even a couple of search engines, not search engines, but tools online that you get the link from Amazon, you pop it in there, and it tells you a percentage of what it thinks that those reviews are fake. I thought that was very, very interesting. 73% of customers trust a business more after a positive review versus 50% trust a business less after a negative review. So positive reviews are much, much more influential. Now, I had a fight between my feature prioritization and all my personas, and this is one of the times that I had to pivot the first time. I had an idea originally, then I tried to go somewhere else where I was gonna do some gamification, try to get more people involved into reviewing, but that was not my initial idea. My initial idea was how to get good information from the people that are actually reviewing and not gamify, so I had to move away from that. Didn't hurt, but so I wanted. Then I started building my low prototype. That's a concept sketch, and I wanted to do the swiping. The world's not ready for flirting with businesses or getting lucky with businesses, so I had to move away from that. This is so some of the pages in the first prototype. I had to move away from this too. Nobody understood what the map was doing there, or they didn't want their location with the map. I don't know the app, all that stuff. And this was too crowded, and the syntax had some issues here. That's my second version. Also, I had to move away from that first screen. I still wasn't getting people engaged or to quickly access the app or navigate the app. And what that told me was that I needed to do another low-fit prototype, which I didn't show here for because of the time, but I had to do it 3 times. This is my wireframes. I know there's some colors here, and I think that happened to Emily, my symbols, right? When you start doing the high fit and you start coloring, then yeah. And I think that's, but it looks a little sassy. It looks like a girl that didn't get all the makeup on. Now, ooh, that was a risky one, huh? So this is my moody mood board, and I had 3 adjectives, trustworthy, friendly, and complete. This is the typography that I used, and I did some testing on it, and it was right on. These are all the symbols that I was just talking about, and I'm on it. And this is my prototype. So this is the app, and I would make it bigger, but there's no time. So the first thing that you do is you log in. Let's log in through Google, lobsamfreeman@gmail.com. Then you sign up. It gives you a welcoming page. So I'm ready to search for places, right? And there's already some recommendations here, hidden gems on places that I can visit. So let's look for a place. Wine dive. Ooh, I found it. There's one result. There's more. There's similar gems here that are relevant to what you just searched. So let's come here, and I want to review. So please rate the food. 5 star. Ooh, this is easy. Please rate the service. 5 star. I could review all day. Please rate the ambience. Not too sure about the ambience, so let's give it a 3 star. Let's go next. So now the app is going to ask you what was wrong with that. Why did you give 3 stars, right? That's what's important. We need to get that feedback. We need to send it to the business owner and to the review readers that are going to be reading about your review later to visit that place. So how can we improve the ambience? Music was a little bit too loud. Food, any additional comments? Food was great and staff was very polite. We go next. Would you like to compliment the chef? Hell yeah, I want to compliment the chef. You're the Picasso of food. Message to management, I'd rather not. And then I would like to take this screen, right? This is outside of the user flow, and the reason why I want to show you this screen is because this would be a different way to get review from customers on a supermarket, for example. Did you find everything that you were looking for? Have you bought it here before? Was the time that you waited to cash out reasonable? So it's a different way, right? Why are we reviewing all the businesses the same way when all the businesses are different? So what we need is to get good insight from everybody, and I think that's the way to achieve it. So how to move forward from here? I would move forward by building the interface for the business owner to track the ratings and reviews. That could be ratings about to expire. I don't know if you guys noticed on one of the pages there was an icon that tells you that you could read reviews that are 3 months or recent because the other ones would expire because they're irrelevant. People really don't take those into consideration. And I noticed that only 20% of people that read reviews would read those that are way too old, right? So why have them there? They're not, the business right now is not the same that it was a year ago, right? Has different management, has different people working for it. So why do I need to read a review that is a year old that makes that has no relevancy to what the business is now? And thank you everybody for indulging me.